Recording. Okay. Good morning. Today is May 27, 2025, and this hearing is being convened at 9:30 a.m. by the Baltimore County Board of Appeals. This is case number CBA-25-017, and this is being held regarding a motion for reconsideration filed by William M. Lagna, and that was filed on April the 12th, 2025 for property located at 221 Bowley's Quarters Road in Baltimore County. And I am Sharon Bernard. I'm chairing this hearing today, and I'm joined by my fellow board members, Mr. Joseph Evans and Mr. Michael Stelmack. And on March 6, 2025, we conducted this panel a hearing and issued an opinion and order dated March 20th, 2025. And we concluded that ALJ Belt's findings of fact were neither arbitrary nor capricious and were supported by competent material and substantial evidence in light of the entire record submitted. We issued an order supporting the finding and affirmed a penalty in amount of $2,150. On April 10, 2025, the petitioner filed this motion for reconsideration and included a motion to dismiss the case due to an administrative error, which he says compromised the case, noting that incorrect photographs and files were forwarded to the board for review and use in the appeal. He states that was in violation of Section 3-6-301B of the Baltimore County Code and 3-6-303A, wherein the Board of Appeals hearing shall be limited to the record created before the hearing officer. He's saying that these photographs and evidence were not part of the record created by the hearing officer, and that by doing so, the record before the hearing officer was not forwarded to the board additionally, and that this caused serious issues, and for that reason he's asking for the case to be dismissed. And so we are meeting today to consider those arguments, and if either one of you prefer to go first, then I will yield to you.
I do. I can
Thank
go
you.
first.
Thank you.
First of all, I don't know what he's talking about. The record actually doesn't establish with satisfaction his claim. I don't know what records he's talking about. I mean, it's just sort of out of thin air that he makes these assertions. There's no affidavits. There's no indication of what was supplied and what wasn't supplied. And there's absolutely nothing here, as far as I can tell, to rule on. That's point number one, okay? Point number two is, even if for some reason the incorrect evidence were forwarded to us, it's really not harmful, because what we reviewed was the evidence that was presented to Judge Belt. When I reviewed the audio and videotape, I looked at the pictures that were given to Judge Belt. So Judge Belt saw the right ones, and what we reviewed was whether Judge Belt had evidence in front of him that could justify his opinion, and we decided, in point of fact, that he did. And that's based, and I'm sure that that's based in my part on reviewing the videotape and seeing what Judge Belt saw at the time, regardless of what ended up being forwarded to us. And I imagine that the same is true with the two of you in terms of your review. You looked at I assume you looked at the videotape and saw what Judge Belt saw. So it's not really particularly, there's no harmful error here. Finally, Mr. Lagna's issues on appeal to us had nothing to do with the quality of the evidence. I mean, his primary argument was that the inspector was biased. Okay, that doesn't have anything to do with this issue. So for all of those reasons, I don't, if there is an error, which I don't know that there is, frankly, it's completely and totally harmless beyond all doubt. So I would have, my view is that the motion for reconsideration should be denied. I guess that was obvious from my comments. But yes, that's my view.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Did you have anything to add, Mr. Stelman?
Yes, just briefly. I mean, I think the light most favorable to Mr. Lagna is that he was not on the video call with Judge Belt. He phoned in. So it's possible that he did not see the photographs as, I mean, he obviously did not see the photographs as they were put up on the screen as Judge Belt went through all the photographic evidence, which is what we referred to during our hearing. But I have a strong memory of reviewing all the exhibits before the hearing that we had. I know all the pictures and the exhibits were forwarded to us. I don't know where any of this is coming from in his email, in his emailed appeal. And I mean, I don't know what there was that wasn't there for us to consider. And I agree with everything you said, Mr. Evans. I think that this is it's either a serious mistake that he's making, it's a confabulation, or it's just an outright fabrication. And one way or the other, I think it's an abuse of the reconsideration process for it to have been brought to us today.
Thank you both. I agree with both of you. What was before us is what was below. There wasn't any, I think, valid argument presented of which photos we received that were not provided below. So I don't know how would even rule on that because that wasn't provided clearly before us. And for the reasons that you stated, I agree that the motion should be denied. And I thank you both for your time today.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam
And
Chair.
this concludes this hearing.
Thank you. Okay.
Let's stop the report.
Bye.